This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing.
CCNTV, bringing you captivating news since 2019.
Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I'm your host, Captivating Christian. And of course, myself, along with Brother Nate, will break down Tuesdays as we always do with news, politics, shows, some YouTube stuff, some wellness, of course, because we always need that. And of course, you. It wouldn't be a day or a Tuesday without all of you beloved people. Thank you so much for popping into the room. Thank you. Shane, how are you? Mr. Marcus, what's going on? Auntie Melissa, nice to see you as always. Brother Nate, let me know when you're ready so I can pop you on up here. All right, sir. Thank you. And what's going on?
Hey, good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Hey. I'm sorry, I didn't give everybody their applause for today. Hold on one second. Let me just let this load. All right. Let's get this Friday started.
You made it through another week.
right. And just embarking on another one with all the stuff.
Foolishness and fuckery.
Yes. A lot of it. Too much to name. So, of course, we're going to talk about a few things. I'll give my take on Trump's call to arms yet again. To try and get his people to have his back. I wish we could all call Darnell to come get us in the time of trouble.
Darnell act a fool.
right, definitely. So I will definitely give my take on that, even though I knew that was just blowing smoke. They're just whatever. I'll save my thoughts for later. Without further ado, though, I hope all of you are well. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Chilling in the Heights. What's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And actually enjoyed your first airing of your show on Friday. It was pretty interesting. All right, let's get started. Where am I? Was that it? All right, here we go. All right. So before I even get started with the news, I missed this part because your waiter or your waitress will be around with your beverage of choice because you're going to need it today. Okay.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
it.
so without further ado, right, I got my red cup and it's only one. So Tenari, before you come at me, because I like to do double cups, but whatever. Uh, so in all seriousness, the news update first that I have, of course, is of the 25-year-old young man who was found months after he was reported missing last fall, dismembered, and all new pieces of evidence have been released by the family. There was a deer cam that caught him actually. You can see the bruises on his body and basically running for his life in fear of his life, which is what his mother stated. The text that she received from him basically explaining that there was an issue at the job. He was a welder, and him and the boss were not seeing eye to eye, and that there were uh, other white men, who the boss had called to accost this young man, and he sent his mother a text to let her know that this is what was happening, and that they were probably trying to kill him, and then he went missing. So much to the story. At first, when his body was found a month after reporting missing, of course, this is Rasheen Carter, the young man who's age 25, who was allegedly murdered. They ain't no alleged about it, and found his body found in the woods of Mississippi. However, in the very beginning, the police chief or the sheriff basically claimed that there was no foul play, and they tried to play it down as if it was just an attack, like he was attacked by animals or something like that. But clearly, somebody being dismembered and having a part of their spine over here and other parts of their body in so many different places, unless it's Bigfoot or something like that, that was done deliberately. And I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm so tired. We always get these stories that bring back Emmett Till situations and things that just remind us that although we believe that we've come so far and we've come this far by faith and all those mantras that clearly we are ushering backwards at the same time as we think we're moving forward, especially with the laws and all these things that are happening. I don't know. Maybe you have something to say, because I don't. I don't have the words.
Well, number one, America is a lie.
Well, I mean, it was built on
Plain,
well,
plain and simple. So
it was stolen on the lie. So
it is definitely a lie. For those of you who don't know, a hunting cam or a deer cam.
Deer cam. It was a deer cam. Yeah.
Deer cam.
Mm-hmm.
It is a motion sensor camera that runs on batteries and whatever. And you can also see in the link that I dropped, he was shirtless, and he had it was a branch. It wasn't a stick. Right. It was a nice sized branch, maybe twice the size of if you had two of your arms together. It was a sizable side. He's shirtless, and it catches his side back profile, because evidently his body was found on some private property. Right. Also, during the autopsy, which the actual sheriff's department, and I guess whoever they had to do the autopsy, said that it was normal. Animals had gotten to him, that type of thing. Right. But come to find out that his skull was severed.
Severed, yes.
Like and it was a clean, like a saw cut,
like a saw cut, right?
Like a workbench type thing.
Right.
So that does not happen in the wild. You know,
Yeah. His teeth, his front teeth were missing.
Front teeth were missing, and Lord knows whatever else. Because
right.
whatever it is they could actually find. You know, when they sent his remains to Crump's person that was doing the second autopsy,
right.
You know, a skull and a spine,
right,
was the only thing that they received. You know, the federal agency needs to be down swarming through that whole town.
Right. They definitely do.
And you know, whatever organizations that we have, you know, the no fuck around guys.
Yeah.
You know, if they come through that town. Because you know,
they tried to shut them down, of course, because they put the president of that.
Well, that's why you don't have just one head.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that he was smart enough that there wasn't just one head. You have, you know, he may be the face of the whole group, but you have the different chapters which have, you know, separate leadership, which is the way that you should go anyway. If we haven't learned anything from past stuff, you never just have one person. It should be a collective. Everyone down, you know, everyone from the head man in charge down to the grandma. Okay,
right.
Should be able.
And also to add, from what he texted his mother, it was a truckload of white men for one 25-year-old young man. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and he had complained to the sheriff's department twice
before, right? Right, about the way he was being treated on the job.
But one thing to notice how quiet that whole thing was.
Right,
you never heard anything. Everything is like you have these horrendous murders, and then they're hitting us maybe 3 or 4 months later.
Right.
We're thinking
like this.
Yeah, of course, it's like brand new to us. We're thinking it happened last week,
right,
or just yesterday. But this is like months and months.
Right. This was in October. This was in October of last year. His body was then found in November. And all they can find was skull and spine.
But not only that, a body does not decompose that fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you put some chemicals to it. It's ridiculous. No way you just find all that skull and spine and other bone fragments in a month. He was just reported missing in October. His body was then found in November.
That's right. And it's not from animals scavenging off of him.
No.
That type of thing, because you would still find flesh.
Right.
You know, now if he had been out there for 10 years,
right.
That's
a different story. Yeah.
But the whole town, like I said, the whole sheriff's department, they're just as involved as everything else. Because now they're going to try to hush it up.
Yeah, of course. They've been doing.
Because they know everybody.
Right.
They weren't the ones that were riding in the trucks too.
And I'm pretty sure they know who did it. I'm pretty sure. It's just like the Ahmaud Arbery case where they went and called the people that they needed to call immediately after it happened. No, we didn't call the police. We called certain people to kind of handle the situation. And then we called the police later. I'm sure it was police involvement in this darn thing. But my prayers go out to the family. Nobody deserves to be subject to that.
Yeah, he was just working there to make some extra money to
open his restaurant that closed during COVID. It's just like
everybody didn't get PPP loans.
Right. Everybody didn't get a PPP for whatever reason. So no, he was not able to keep his restaurant open. He had to close his seafood restaurant because of the COVID situation was hurt his business. So then you go get a job, and then people don't even want you there to do that. So
he was having car trouble. That's why he was on foot.
Right.
You know. But I would have had somebody come get my ass. Just come get me.
Yeah.
Just come get. Because you usually know, you have that feeling when you walk in situations that you really feel out of place.
Yeah.
And act on your gut feelings. Follow your gut feelings. I'm telling you, and especially nowadays, these crazy crackers out here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not all the crackers. These are just
No.
the mega crackers. You know, you have all these crazy crackers out here that are, you know, they're so emboldened now, and they want to act on their fantasies of what it would be like to, you know, unalive somebody. You know,
Right.
comes from playing a lot of those video games and
these video games. Yeah. Yeah. Very
because
much
they do desensitize you. They do.
Yeah.
They do definitely do that. Oh, shout out to Patty. Yeah, girl, you walk right in a serious one. Patty.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Patty, how are you? Nice to see you as always. Also, in other news, the family of Tyree Simpson, the teenager who fell to his death at the amusement park in Orlando, they finally reached a settlement in that case. The amount of the settlement is unknown. However, the legislators in Orlando in the International Drive Tourism District, where this the 14-year-old boy was killed after falling from the amusement ride. Actually, the ride itself, the weight limit capacity on the ride is 287 pounds. That young man was 383 pounds, but they maneuvered the security systems on the ride to allow him to get on the ride without it being compromised or saying he was overweight. Why they do that, I have no idea. I think that that's absolutely ridiculous. To put somebody at risk like that, I don't even know. I don't even know. The young man was not even from the area. He was in Orlando on spring break. And for that to be his last moment, it's sad. The mother did also state that she, as well, you know, was somewhat happy that a settlement was reached, and that hopefully, because I think the ride was being taken down, that no other family would have to go through the pain that she's gone through. So I don't know. The Florida Department of Agriculture, stated that the sensors should have gone off, which they didn't because they were maneuvered by the workers to bypass certain sensors that would not have allowed that accident to even happen, because it wouldn't even let the ride go up, but they overrode it. So I don't know.
They should have pushed that as an operator error.
Right.
Because if he's manipulating the arms, because you can clearly see that arm did not, it's an overhang that comes down and latches down.
Right.
That did not cover him.
No.
And he should have pulled him off.
Yeah, he should have just said, no, you can't, you can't ride it. I don't
big.
Yeah, right. Big. It's just I don't get it.
Just like the ones with the height measurements for children. You're too small, you'll slip out from underneath. Shit, some of that shit, my ass be sliding through that shit.
Yeah,
that's why I don't
right.
do that shit anymore.
Right,
I don't do that anymore.
Yes. Hey, Miss New, nice to see you. Welcome. So there is some pending legislation in Florida aimed at preventing similar accidents, called the Tyree Simpson Act, which would prevent Florida's smaller attraction operators from making unauthorized adjustments to their rides just to increase ridership. So look at that. Florida's actually doing something other than going
what
after.
They could do was put Ronnie on that ride.
Yeah, they could put Satan. They could put a lot of people on that ride, actually.
I've been flung his ass to Fort Lauderdale. What is that? I don't know.
What is that flying over?
I must have dumped some shit out the airplane.
Yeah. Speaking of dumping shit, good old the murderer or the unalive killer of George Floyd, rather. I'll just whatever. The killer of George Floyd, Derek Chapin, is in court again. This time for tax evasion. Of course, right after everybody was weighing in on the George Floyd murder, and they were taken into custody. His taxes did come up, but now they have, it's time to pay the piper. So him and his wife have they really did a Trump, and I don't know if they were taking like lessons. I don't know if Trump was given this class at Trump University or whatever thing he was doing, but yeah, this man wasn't filing taxes for a minute, and then when he was reporting that he was making less than he was actually making. Him and his wife both reported earnings less than what they were making. I think they were making about $400 and something thousand, and they reported a lot less. They didn't say how much they reported less, but they owe the IRS about $37,000. Well, him and his ex-wife now.
They were inflating their numbers to do so.
They were inflating their numbers. I thought they were lowering. They said that they were.
He said they made more. I mean, they logged down more than what they actually made. Right? Is that what you're saying?
No, they were logging that they made less income than what they actually made. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were saying that they made a lot less.
Oh, those motherfuckers are stealing. That's what they were
doing.
Yeah. Get some children like I used to do. I had children everywhere.
Yeah.
That was a Nick Cannon of damn taxes.
And not the Nick Cannon of taxes.
Yeah, as many as I could claim.
That's crazy.
That's right.
But yeah, he did, and he did this for a while. I think 2014 to 2020, but there was some time in there like he didn't file taxes at all for 2016, 2017, 2018. Didn't report any income, and for 14 and 15, he reported. What did they say here? He was still reporting his income to be less than what he was making, and what they were both making combined would definitely put them in the bracket where they would be paying taxes or paying more in taxes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where the money's going to come from. I'm guessing probably his pension. Yeah. So, I mean, do I feel bad? No, absolutely. Right. And if he has that, do I feel bad? Absolutely.
Well, they may still go after his assets, because here's the trick. During his trial, that's when his wife divorced him, and that was just that was to protect everything that they had
exactly.
That they were.
And then they put everything in her name.
And then everything in her name.
Yeah.
But she was married to him, and she was complicit at the time.
Yeah. Very true. And so I don't know if they saved them from this tax evasion, but
motherfucker, we gonna get that money. We gonna get that money back. You lied the whole time.
It says better or worse. That's what it is. Right. This is just their worst moment.
Don't think you're going to skate either.
Yeah, we shall see how they get this money. This $37,000.
A nice little ranch style house.
He's gonna have to do a lot of hucking and bucking. Okay,
they got a lot of Confederate flags and shit hanging in there, but there ain't nothing that a little roach spray and some paint can't take care of. I'm sure. Just absolutely crazy. All right, so in some other news, not so crazy, more on the political side, Biden issued his first veto on retirement investment solutions. So remember during the State of the Union address where Biden was talking about keeping Social Security because the conservative Republicans wanted to cancel Social Security. And they, no, like, get out of here, you lied. Well, the fact of the matter is, yes, they've been trying to cancel and cut out Social Security.
And as of Monday, a solution to overturn the retirement investment rule that allowed managers of retirement funds to consider the impact of climate change and other environmental, social, and governing factors when picking investments. Republican lawmakers led the push to pass this legislation through Congress and argued that the rule is woke, is a woke policy. What is with them and everything being a woke policy or some liberal agenda? It's like they find a new word and it's like they keep riding with it.
And they don't even know the meaning.
Yeah, right. It doesn't even, it has like, what? What are you talking about? Just know that these people are out to get all of your money. But keep it for themselves. Mind you, they just gave themselves, and we talked about this last week, they just gave themselves pay increases. The entire new Congress, Republican Congress, just gave themselves pay increases. But they will turn around.
I don't know for what.
And they will turn around and take every dime from you. The way them hearings are going, and as bat shit retardo as these people sound, as they try to act like they are, learned individuals, it's ridiculous. I can't call it. I can't. It makes no sense to me. And I don't know what voters think. There's a true reality check that I hope a lot of these people get, that everybody is not meant for everything, and everybody's not a politician. Yeah, you may not like certain things and you may be very vocal on issues, but everybody's not a politician, because there's more to it than just getting on TV or saying something that is spicy that they can play on Fox News. You actually have to govern. You actually are in charge of your state. You are a representation of your state. And the stuff that these people have been saying during these committee hearings absolutely makes me go, and how did you get this far? It's ridiculous. I ain't even.
Donald Trump opened up the fact that you always had one or two that slipped through, but all the grifters just came. This is an easy cash cow. That's he was probably calling up everybody. You know how it is.
Right.
I got the hookup. Come on in here.
Right. Yeah.
Come on in here. Get some of this money and get the fuck out. You know?
Darnell left us a whole bunch, left money on the floor. Yeah, I mean,
on the floor. Yeah.
It's so crazy. It just makes no sense.
And Marjorie and Lauren down there picking it up, and not with their hands.
No, but your Marjorie Taylor Greene is single now. She definitely not picking it up with her hands at all. But anyway,
I don't know. I say lips is lips. But anyway.
You know what? Just anyway. Speaking of other states, Denver will pay $1.6 million to protesters that were injured by police back in 2020. Now, before, of course, we talked about the murder of George Floyd. During that time, of course, there were protests everywhere, all across these United States, and even in Denver, Colorado. And so, of course, police took it upon themselves to be the law and enforcers and Judge Dredd around many of these states, and they went unmatched. There was no punishment handed out to a lot of these officers that really beat and abused people who were just peacefully protesting. Nothing was done, nothing at all. Some people lost eyesight. A lot of people were badly bruised and beaten just for protesting against another citizen's rights being taken away from him, his own life being taken away. So, yeah, I mean, it's about time that these police officers pay for the stuff that they've done. I wish it was coming from their actual pockets, though, because that would really make the difference. This is just coming from the city, and the city has these funds where they, for the incidentals that they will just cash out. But if it was actually coming from the people's pockets, I believe that would make a world of difference.
Mhm.
That was a vision I did not need in my head. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He just roll it up, put it on the edge of the table. But
You know what? Not roll it up. Go ahead. Your thoughts, sir.
you're going to see a lot of this stuff coming out now. I mean, and these are peaceful protests. That's what
Yeah.
made it so bad. That
Yeah.
the violence that was heaped upon your own citizens.
Right.
You know.
I don't know. I have no idea what's wrong with. Well, I mean, I know what's wrong with them. They're a gang, and they,
Well, yeah, because they would.
they
With
go
everything that
around
was going on, they were
unchecked.
just saying, yeah, they figured nobody. But
Yeah.
but again, you have the phone,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you may have your mask on, but you have your name on your
Right.
uniform
Your
and your
badge
time,
number.
your badge
Mhm.
number, but you're tagging. I mean, they know where you are. You're tagging location where you
Location.
were at the time, and
Mhm.
you know who they are.
Yeah.
You know who they are, and the white boys, they just couldn't wait. They
No,
just could not wait.
as
Because
always.
remember too, you did not see that many black officers out there.
No. Nope. Nope. Not at all. Not at
Because I
all.
was wondering how how conflicted they would be in this type of situation. So I think they purposely probably had them doing like perimeter work further out, not
Yeah.
actually engaging with
Hmm.
actual protesters, peaceful protesters on top of that.
Right. I don't know. Just absolutely crazy. And I think, like I said, if they start taking it from their pockets, I think the tune would be
Oh
different.
yeah, correct. Like I said,
It,
like we've always said, go for them pensions.
yeah.
Go for those
Right.
those unions. Those unions
Right.
obviously have the money because they're
Right.
protecting.
Because they're protecting them. Right. Exactly. Speaking about being unprotected, Black women, a little health and wellness here. Black women are dying during pregnancy and childbirth. I know we talked about this earlier some
I was
months
going to
ago.
say it just
How,
seems to be like a every week thing, but
yes,
every
yes,
time you turn around, it's always something new.
yeah.
That's
But
the
the
scary
numbers,
part.
right, the numbers have increased. They have nearly doubled since 2018 to 2021. Now, of course, we know that there are many factors that play a role in in the rising uh, crisis of Black women. And it's alarming to me only because Black women aren't protected in this, in this nation we live in. And anyway, they're only protected for their vote. That's it. It's like, oh, you can vote for me because you have a large voting block. That's all we care about. Everything else, kind of, sort of, no, thank you. We don't need that. With the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, this affects Black women and their ability to carry pregnancies to term, to even be able to live, because right now, due to the beautiful Supreme Court attacking Roe v. Wade, certain states that many of these Black women live in, the doctors have to make a choice so they don't violate the law, either save the child or save the mother. I mean, it's really just that bad. And not to mention that, of course, we talk about this all the time, that healthcare and the inequalities that we have there, with the access to it, with the resources and the things of that nature, that limit people having full, healthy pregnancies. Financial
Racism,
resources, it's
racism, and
so a
is
whole
all
lot.
throughout that whole system. Also,
Yeah.
as a reminder,
So definitely want to um, take a look at this article. It is definitely very riveting. Just the amount, I mean, just 2021, excuse me. In 2021, the birth rate of pregnancy or childbirth hit nearly 70 deaths per 100,000 births. And that doesn't even account for murders. That just accounted just for that. It doesn't even account for murders. And murders was another leading
hmm
number. It's It's crazy. It really is. But yet we can sit here and talk about all this stuff about, oh, this one doesn't support this, and we're always going out to vote, but we are dying out here. We are really dying out here, and we fight amongst each other about who's sleeping with whom and all the stuff that really doesn't make sense. None of the churches are really talking about this, but they'll talk about other stuff.
That's strange too. They're awfully quiet.
Don't have nothing to say about this, but you can talk about all the other garbage. It's almost like, what life are you concerned with? Are you just concerned with the life of the fact of life being created, and everything else, I'll be damned to it? Like, I really just don't. What is the argument? Because if you're pro-life, you're pro all life. Period.
No, maybe you need to remind the church that those are future parishioners to be able to give you some coins.
Right,
maybe you'll give a fuck about them. Okay.
That too. I mean, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. No sense.
Patty has a question.
Yes.
Let's see. The doctor asked me, do I have any questions? She knows I have some.
Yeah, we definitely do have to advocate for our own health care.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do it. My friends call me a hypochondriac because I will, if he tells me something or she tells me something, I will research it. I'll come back with my questions.
That's right.
And then they'll be like, well, no, not really. Well, I think you're reading too much into it. No, I just need to know. I want you to know that I know. So therefore, as we're going along with this,
you won't play me as me as stupid.
You won't side rail me and have me taking something that I don't necessarily need, or something that will cause more harm than good. But yeah, we need to really. I mean, the numbers are astounding. And not to mention, of course, other factors, like I said, with food, housing, all those things that we already know play a fact in a lot of these things. The fact that this is happening on the verge of Roe v. Wade being ripped apart in many states, just shredded, just a shell of what it was meant to be, only to protect white people having babies so they can still maintain majority. It has nothing to do with anything else. They'll send the other puppeteers in to make you feel like, no, it has everything to do with saving lives. Well, if it has everything to do with saving lives, why are we not saving lives of Black women and Black infants who are dying at an alarming rate currently right now?
Yeah, but one thing I noticed that and over the years that we as a people have gotten away from is how we tighten our ranks around the person that was expecting. It was a family thing. That type of thing. From once the child was doing the whole pregnancy and everything, people took care of that person,
right?
And they don't do it. They're pretty, especially a lot of the younger ones. They're just pretty much out here on their own. But you took care of them when the baby was born. Like with my sister, my sister was a grown married woman. And she had a C-section, but she came. I was still at home at the time. She came and lived with us for a month. Her and the baby, and we took care of them.
Right.
That type of thing. Not only that, my aunts and things like that. To give her a break, to let her get back up on her feet, because like I had told you before, my grandmother used to be a midwife.
Right.
So, you didn't run up and down the steps, even if you had a normal birth. You didn't do a lot of running up and down the steps. You weren't out. You didn't have the baby out at the mall one day after right after you had it. Those types, things that they tell you to do that your doctor, which during that time was probably a man, he just delivered them. He didn't know what you were going through hormonally and things like that. And I'd like to see us get, I know that we have, midwives and doulas and things like that now,
Mm-hmm.
but to actually follow them for a couple of months after the fact, and we need to, because these motherfuckers killing us. They gonna kill us anywhere around.
Yeah, that's it.
If they don't stop you at a traffic stop, they're gonna try to snatch your ass out the womb. So, and definitely advocate for yourself.
Yes, definitely.
And advocate for somebody, your friends and things like that. That shit don't sound right. I have no problem with saying that. That shit don't sound right. I heard this, because a lot of times doctors are like mechanics. One thing I did learn, especially with dealing with my mother's situation,
right?
These motherfuckers are just. I was like, these motherfuckers are just like Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, they just try it, see if it works.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
you're not making it. There's a lot of shit that I had to stop them a couple of times. I was like, wait a minute. Are you even looking at her records?
Right. No, it's like, we'll just try this and see if it works. And
because they'll say we're a team, and there's several people, and you know how that shit gets lost.
Right.
In the translation, they just call you up on the phone. They're looking at a piece of paper. It's like, no. She was not doing this before. This shit is new.
Yeah.
And like I used to have to tell them, I was like, I don't know who this person. This is not the person that I recognized a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You're just reading stuff on the
chart.
The charts.
I'm just another number. Yeah.
But I'm telling you what it is. Actually, what it is. So if it don't sound right, say something, because you don't want to be regretting it later on. That it's like, damn, it was on the tip of my tongue. I was trying to remember, whatever. Just say, it don't hurt.
Yeah, it really don't. Make your notes. Make your notes before your visit, and actually, any questions you may have, write them down. And when you actually go, bring your notes with you, even if you got to put them in your cell phone or whatever you need to
take somebody else with you.
Yes, and that too,
because a lot of times there's a lot of information being thrown at you that you're not catching,
right?
Or it needs to be interpreted differently for you to understand.
Yes, I know we have a tendency to always want to keep things private and amongst ourselves. So,
I'll let you stay in the room. I'll let you stay in the room.
But I mean, some people
we want to look at your ass. Okay, no, you seen ass before, haven't you? Ain't too much different. I mean, granted, it's bigger, it's more voluptuous, whatever, but it's still an ass. I don't have no problems with it. I mean, especially when you get a certain age. I don't give a shit. You want to look at my shit? Just don't take no pictures.
Oh, Lord. I'm not even going there with you. So anyway, in other news, but definitely we need to make sure we're being advocates for ourselves and our health. And also in some mental health and wellness, sexual abuse, molestation, insurance coverage, otherwise known as SAM. Explicit sexual activities pose a high risk at the workplace safety, concerns especially for minors and vulnerable adults who are involved. Additional sexual abuse and molestation claims represent a serious liability challenge. Defending against sexual misconduct claims can be costly, even if the allegations are unfounded. Business and nonprofit healthcare providers and contractors can manage this risk by purchasing sexual abuse molestation insurance, otherwise known as SAM coverage, also known as the sexual molestation liability insurance. Yeah. So
I wonder if all those politicians and everything. I wonder if all those politicians and
have insurance.
Have SAM. You got SAM?
You got SAM?
Have to start asking them.
Yeah.
You got SAM?
I do believe this is crazy.
I had to read it twice because I was
I couldn't. I was like, seriously, like, what is what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't even know how to feel about that. I really
pay out
don't.
When you're the
right. That is my thing. How do you pay out? how do you pay something like that out? And then on top of that, if in fact the person has been assaulted, they should be going to jail. We worrying about you were getting coverage. I'm not I don't know. I
Man,
really don't know.
is this
Well,
is this money used towards lawyers and things
I
like
know the
that?
Catholic Church is down to get some Sam. I know they
Uh,
are. Them priests,
they
the priests
probably are saying,
already got it.
all of them
We-
nasty ass. That's what happened. You got them
Covered under
nasty ass,
Sam.
old wrinkly ass old nut men in these goddamn long ass gowns and shit. Nasty,
Just
just nasty.
absolutely crazy, crazy, crazy. I think we talked about this before a couple weeks ago, but groups are demanding that the Supreme Court adopt a code of ethics because of the public trust. The nation's public trust is dwindling in them. So, I mean, I'm not surprised, but okay.
No, they were. It was probably something else. It's so much that they've become really problematic, just like the
Yeah,
rest of the government, so.
right. Like the rest of Congress and the rest of the branches of government. Yes, they've become just as problematic. And yes, I must warn you, I have Sam.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing.
But that's too funny.
Man, you got Sam.
But yeah, definitely.
We have to get your husband out of there.
Yeah, definitely check this article out. It basically talks about how the Supreme Court, who was once kind of out of the fray of political mess, it seems to, thrown itself in there, firsthand. I don't know if Jenny Thomas started smelling herself and then that just ushered Uncle Clarence Thomas to just kind of join in. I don't know. Or the sleeper cell got awoken. I have no idea. But this Supreme Court has really shown itself to exactly what their agenda is. Mm-hmm. And they don't have any shame in it. And there's no, yeah,
they are all infected.
It's really disheartening because that's the part of the branch of government that is supposed to be independent from all that. Although the justices are picked by the president, of course, of whatever party happens to be in office at the time, other than when Obama was in office and Merrick Garland did not get appointed. But normally, if a justice seat becomes vacant, then the president can fill it. But they're still supposed to be independent of the political arm that brought them to the seat. And these group of majority conservative huckabucks really don't care. So I don't know. I think we're in a battle for ourselves. I mean, it's just if you don't vote and show up, a lot can happen. A lot is happening. It's not even a lot can happen. A lot is happening. Although we want to ignore it or not pay attention to it, that's fine. But it's still happening. It hasn't stopped. And these people have an agenda that is a lot bigger than what you think. And they're pushing it forward.
And they've been working on it for a
long time. Yep, long game. Very much the
thing is, nobody was paying him any attention.
Right. Very true.
And I think the fact too that we are able just to communicate like we're doing now.
Yeah.
Over vast differences. Everybody, like I say it all the time. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle, and we just finally started putting it together.
Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
That's why they want to ban TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly, because all those other two, Facebook and Meta and Instagram, they fuck their people over, numerous times.
Yeah.
But yet they still exist.
Right. Right. That part is true. Also, speaking of fucking people over, will Republicans put forth Senator Tim Scott in the White House? Let's put that in no.
As the doorman.
Right. I mean, they may let him be VP for whomever may be running just to make that ticket somewhere like, see, look, we're not racist, although we push for eliminating African American history from the history books. Like, no, that's not racist. How is that racist? What?
Is this his last term? He's not running again.
He may not be. He may not be because his demographic is small. Not a lot of people. Granted, they don't mind the fact that he's a Republican, but a black Republican with all this kind of push towards. I don't even want to call it Trumpism because it's not. He didn't create it, but this kind of surrounded by a white supremacist kind of ideology that's been pushed. I don't see him lasting long in South Carolina. I personally don't see it. I'm surprised he made it through his primary this go round. I really was. I really truly was.
He's very problematic.
Yeah. I mean, he'll do anything and say anything to appease them.
He's a black Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, right, definitely.
I look at him and I get an instant him and Lindsey Graham. I get an instant attitude.
Yeah, just in the stuff that they say, and it's just like, first of all, you know what goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what even goes on behind closed doors with them. You know exactly what they're thinking. You know exactly
how many times they tell him he speaks so well.
Yeah, right. You're so articulate. You know? So dumb. I don't get it.
America is not racist.
Yeah, right. And it's cool to have a difference of opinion. I don't mind conservatives that happen to be black or the others. I don't mind it. But I do mind is that you can sit there, still be conservative wholeheartedly, but you see what's going on and you don't think nothing of it. Like, that part bothers me. Because then to me is you're just there to do the job and get the money. You're not there really for the concerns of the people. You're there to get the money because, you know, with your face on the front of something that is always looked at as a separatist party, a party that is not inclusive, they're gonna tote you around the show. See, look at my black senator.
Like, I was getting ready to say when white couples adopted little black children.
Yeah, right. We went all the way down to Timbuktu to get this little guy. Look, oh, he's so great. And it's just like,
you know, the ones from the city here, they're kind of vicious. They bite.
Right. Just absolutely crazy. And speaking of biting, the ICC has issued war crimes warrant against Vladimir Putin for allegedly deporting Ukrainian children to Russia. In some international news. Why are we not surprised? But this is some more white on white crime here. All right. So basically, in a nutshell, what President Vladimir Putin is doing is taking, when they go into certain parts of Ukraine and they kind of control it, they go in, take the children and deport them to Russia, which would cause, of course, what? People trying to go find their children having to go to Russia or deal with the Russian authorities and trying to obtain their children. He's doing this on purpose. Of course, the fact that he's being allowed to do this as, oh, this is, you know, nothing to see here. We don't have nothing to do with this because it's all about, it's in Europe. It's all about, but he's really just trying to regain control of what was known as the USSR, and he'll do it by any means necessary. And because he happens to be another white man, of course, they feel a way about it. They don't want to really go and attack him, yet they will give Ukraine benefits to help them and aid them in this battle. At this point, just cut it. Just cut it out, and bring the fighter jets and let the UK get involved and go at him. Because I can't see them letting him live at this point. I really just don't.
He's very restricted because he can't leave the country unless he, you know, maybe depending upon his relationship with Korea and China. Other than that, he can't go anywhere. I mean,
well, the Chinese president just said he doesn't want him to lose. He doesn't want Vladimir Putin to lose. So then the question is, well, what are you going to do?
Remember, China is the Walmart of the world.
Yeah.
And they still they still don't want you. They don't want to lose that base there as far as their consumers. You're selling a lot of shit. I could sell war is big money.
Mm-hmm.
War is big money. And who's to say those children that he takes aren't being used as a labor force? I mean, look at Sarah B. Huckabee.
Right. Oh my gosh, did you see that? The cheering and all up in the house, the state house, just the cheering and praising because you're letting underage children work.
Well, did you see those children that were standing up there doing the signing? Did you see their faces? Like, what the fuck did we just?
Right.
We slaves now.
Right. What did we agree to?
Oh,
to be baby slaves. Like they
were little white. I think it was like two little white boys and a white girl. I could tell. The one in the middle, I couldn't
tell what it was. Yeah.
But the first thing I thought, I was like,
yeah. So
you got a taste. You got a taste for some chitlins, some ham. Your ass, motherfucking ass. That shit look good now, don't it?
Yeah. Right. Only because these plants that that normal adult people work at, these chemical plants and things of that nature, there were children already working at these plants. Underage children was working at these plants, and they were getting fined. Right, they were getting fined and having to pay millions of dollars for violating child labor laws.
But so did fentanyl knock that many? Well, did fentanyl and what is it? The chlamydia virus knock that many people out of the workforce that they had to revert to?
Of course, for places
that and those wages, because those children aren't getting paid.
But that's why they said it was such an epidemic. That's why the opioid crisis is such an epidemic, because it is forcing them out of the workforce. Mm-hmm. So they have resorted to having children working in plants where there's chemicals, where they have been chemically scarred. They have been all these things have been happening to children, and they've been violation after violation and being sued by the government time and time again. So they said, okay, forget that. You're going to get old cross-eyed Huckabee in here to wipe it away. And now they can have children at the age of 12, 10 years old, working in chemical plants.
Did you happen to catch the interview, the Australian interview? They interviewed her about that, and she was bouncing all around the question.
No, but I'm sure she was.
They were calling her out on it.
She was bouncing around just like her eye was, but I'm sure she was. Because how do you explain that as a mother yourself? How do you really explain how is that beneficial? How? Because first and foremost, what that does is
kids out of school. None of those kids will go to school.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. You immediately putting children to work. That's not enriching their education. And then what happens? You'll end up with a West Virginia kind of situation. You get these people working, have these people making money at an early age, no kind of education. They get too old, or they didn't work the plant for so long that they can't really do anything else. It's time to retire, or they have to leave, or the plant shuts down. And then what?
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to the new third world. I always said that.
Gosh, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But this is the same. These are the same Christians, and get this.
But we care about kids.
This is the same Christians that look, it's life. We care about the life. Oh my gosh. Oh, no to abortions, and we're all about children. And these drag queens are infecting our children with these gay ways of life and all this kind of garbage, but you'll sacrifice children to work child labor.
Yeah, but your pastor and politician are fucking them. All right. Plain and simple.
Oh my God.
But if you could have seen the fear in those kids' eyes when they said, like, what the hell? We just got.
Oh, they don't know. They about to be the children of the corn.
Like, what the fuck is going?
They about to be the children of the corn for real. Okay. You think you going to reset?
The love boat.
I don't know. And speaking of more buffoonery. Wyoming's governor just signed a law prohibiting birth control, abortion pills. So I mean, they pushing this. Oh no, we're about children. We're for children. Yet she's the first one to do this, wiping away the child labor laws. Other states will surely follow. They will surely follow. But yeah, check out this. He looks like he's been using a few abortion pills himself. But yeah, Governor Mark Gordon has just signed a bill Friday night prohibiting the abortion pill in the state, which also allows a separate measure restricting abortions to become law without his signature. So basically, you can't have an abortion in his state without his signature. And if you think he's gonna sign it, you got another thing coming. All right. The pill had already been banned in 13 states with a blanket ban. So other states are just picking it up as it goes. And most of these are Republican governors. So do note that, of course, your vote matters, especially in your local election. So pay attention because it's happening. They are steamrolling these things. Okay. Let's see.
I'm still thinking about the woman that had a miscarriage, and I'm not sure if they put her in jail.
They put her in jail, yeah.
4 to 5 years. That she had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
4 to 5 years. I want to know where the husband or the boyfriend is.
I want to know why is he in jail?
Why isn't he in jail, or why isn't he out here waging war on these motherfuckers?
Yeah,
because I've never heard something so goddamn ridiculous. These white people are horrible. They are horrible.
They are absolutely
and
horrible.
You know what? And it's like it's like a temper tantrum, a nigga fit.
Yeah, it's like a baby with a temper tantrum.
Because they're lashing out at everybody.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at themselves. You're the problem. You're the reason why we have issues. You are the problem. And they are just like, when the kid has that temper tantrum on the floor, and they're just, I don't see too many black kids because mama went over there and kicked them.
Right.
Up off that goddamn floor. Who you think you are?
Right.
Ain't no white shit over here.
Yeah.
Or just walked off and left them.
Right.
And then once they look around and see nobody around, go running looking for them.
Well, there may be some help on the horizon for some in the military. Lloyd Austin has taken steps to reduce military suicides by improving access to mental health care. However, of course, Lloyd Austin, who is the Defense Secretary, couldn't get it out. Defense Secretary has Thursday put in place to find a way to reduce suicides by military people and young people who happen to be in the military as well. However, this measure does not include anything regarding gun purchases and things of that nature. Like they still kind of keeping a ring on gun ownership and things of that nature. They did implement changing the age to buy a gun and ammunition to 25 concerning the military. However, they've really been hush-hush on the actual gun situation, but they're trying to find a way to tackle the mental health. But I think they kind of go hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, well, they're all trained up now. They're even more dangerous than before.
Right. But
if the military is the issue, they need to be afraid that the chickens will come home to roost.
Right.
Ain't nothing more angry than a chicken nugget. All right.
Yeah. Not a chicken nugget. Oh no, but yeah, so definitely check out that article. And for those who have served in the military, we definitely appreciate your service and thank you for keeping us all safe or somewhat safe or in the mindset of us thinking that we're safe. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it.
But how do they get past I guess they just want bodies. They're not spending the time to actually do any type of psych evaluation or anything on them once they go in.
No, once they go in,
because a lot of them just they're just just taking them off of the street. So
yeah, pretty much.
Well, shit, you got them now, so you might as well go ahead and take care of them and stabilize them.
Yeah, I mean, you got them right. I mean,
but then the VA is so fucked up too. So
I don't know. I really don't. And you would think that the champions of this, as many conservatives used to champion the military and all this stuff, but the lack of compassion that they actually have for military veterans and their mental health is astonishing. But they always talk about America first and this, and we need to increase the military and military funding and all this talk. But yet, when it comes to taking care of the soldiers,
you don't know unless you're not out here cracking heads and enforcing our presence around the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're just something we can just use up and toss away.
Yeah. Just crazy. Speaking of tossing away, since you mentioned that, over 100 of Darnell's presidential gifts were unaccounted for.
You think?
Right. Legislators say that
more than that.
Darnell's family failed to disclose about $250,000 in gifts received from foreign governments while in the White House. Now, of course, Darnell has his own issues going on right now. Of course, he said in a tweet just last week, actually, as we were leaving the show last week, this time, that he would be indicted on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, and nothing has happened. However, he did call.
And I bought snacks. I was just waiting for the.
I don't know why.
Conquest of the Planet of the Apes again.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that shit. I wanted to see them climb scale that building. That's what I wanted to see. Look.
No, I really don't understand what's wrong with these people, and it's people on both sides of the aisle with this. Just as he did in January 6th, when his white friends came and trashed the Capitol, is the same call that he made for Tuesday, not knowing if he was going to be indicted or not. But the fact that you even tell people to come and protest, knowing good and well you know what that means. And we're going to play words with semantics. Like, no, I just called them to come protest me getting arrested and take our country back. What does take our country back? What does that mean? You know exactly what that means. But
bitch, you look real guilty because you're one trick pony. You did that shit before.
You did, right. You did the same thing. It's
familiar.
Like when you get where you feel like the heat may be rounding up on you, you make the call so the people can come out and do the bullshit, just like they did on January 6th. Once you knew you lost, it was you need to come out. January 6th is going to be real big. It's going to be huge, and all that other BS that he does. Here you are again. But the difference, and no slight to those of you in DC, but New York is the epicenter of the trade. All the business and the money runs through New York. Try to do that. And I don't care how much of a Trump fan a person in the military outfit may be. You won't be breathing. They're not going to jeopardize. They're not. I just don't see it happening. Ever since 9/11, they ain't playing no games with people trying to do things of that nature in New York City. Not happening, not at all. So if anybody thought that they were going to come there and actually do what they did on January 6th in New York,
getting a convoy. See, you should wear that trucker hat this week.
No, I ain't doing that shit. That's no way.
Come on, we got a convoy going up there.
Hell,
no. Our boy Darnell.
I mean, I just don't get it. You crawl for these people to come help you, and the stupidity of a lot of these people, and it's just this plain. He calls you to come help him, but has he gone to help any of the January 6th people that have been
Did he go visit
incarcerated?
anybody in jail?
Has he visited?
paid anybody's bail?
Has he paid anybody's bail? Has he done anything other than say if he was elected again, he would pardon them? But he was supposed to pardon them, if I'm not mistaken, before he left office, was he not? Did he do it? No, because he didn't give a shit. Because they didn't accomplish
some of his lawyers.
Right. Right. Did he send some of his lawyers to come help some of the people? No. But you will still blindly follow this fool and he don't give a shit about you. I don't know what it's like being in a toxic relationship. Girl, get out of it. Wake up. He don't love you.
Yeah, he don't love you. He just use you as much as he can.
Yeah.
Daddy says, yeah, they're going to get their butts kicked.
Yeah, I mean, and you're his bank. At this point, you are his bank. He throwing shit out there. I mean, he's got superhero cards. You really dumb enough to buy a superhero card of a person
from images that he stole and he superimposed his face on. Stolen property.
Right. And he's getting paid. You paying $1,000 for a $1,000 bill.
And
with his face on it. That don't mean shit.
And they paid it. What made it so bad is that they paid for it.
You paying for this crap. Like,
but you know what? Thank God there's some stupid people. You know,
you can't even use it. It's not. It means absolutely nothing. That money will not be in circulation.
And it's worth nothing.
It's nothing. Worth absolutely nothing. Just for you to sit there and look at it. If you could even do that, I don't understand these people.
It might get anal fissures. You better fuck around with that shit. Get you all ripped up.
It's probably already ripped up, so I'm sure they all right. What was this?
Why you always pre-lube?
Yeah. I don't even know. I think that was it. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. I just don't understand. I think I got everything. I just don't understand these people. I really don't. And people were like really gun-ho, like, oh my gosh, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go? One of my friends texted me today, like, did he go to jail? I think he went to jail. I said, I've been watching nothing. Nobody has said anything about him going to jail. Then I saw this little Twitter thing of him running. And I'm like, first of all, Donald Trump run would be funny in of itself.
Yeah, he was laying on there clenching his heart. It would have been
where was he running? But no, I really, he does not know when and if they will arraign him. He does not know when and if that day will happen. And if it does happen, he'll more than likely be in Florida, which is the reason why he changed his state of residency from New York to Florida before he even ended his presidency, because he already knew what could possibly meet him if he got off Air Force One in New York. He was already going to be in the clank because of what he's done. So him being in Florida was just a way to kind of, maneuver past it.
Did you hear DeSantis said that he wouldn't interfere if they came down and picked him up from Florida?
Oh, DeSantis, the Satan. He talks a lot of shit. And I'm sure he wouldn't, because if he did, then he'd be in violation a little bit. And granted, he would love to kick dirt in Biden's face because that's what he likes to do. But at the same time, it's like, do you really want to be known for that if you're trying to run for president too? Granted, I just already know, and anybody who is watching this man should know that he's just going to be just as worse as Donald Trump, because
he's gonna be worse. He's worse.
He's already showing you the length to what he will go. And imagine trying to make this on a national scale. This is just Florida we're talking about eliminating Black history from books, eliminating colleges and universities from, just anything that has to do with being Black, just totally wiping it away. And you want this person to be president for what? To prove what? It's just crazy.
Just past couple of days, the discussion was saying that young girls who were starting their menstrual cycles can't discuss, kind of foolishness is that?
I'm telling you, it's like Handmaid's Tale. It's like somebody was really watching the show, like, yeah, we should really do this for real. Like, we should really do this. And we are like edging more and more closer.
This shit is not, you will not be looking for the next episode next week. The shit could happen overnight.
Overnight. Yeah. They'll be rounding up women overnight talking about you're now this person's property and you're going to have babies for them. Like, I mean, it's that's where we're moving. Believe it or not, that is just where we're moving. So as much as they talk about, oh, this is woke and that is woke, some people need to start waking up, okay? Yeah. Because they are on the move with this crazy agenda that they have. I think that is all I have for that.
Tell them about the state police in Illinois using
yeah. So where's that? Where's that? I don't think this is it. Is it? No, that ain't it. Never mind. That was the copper one.
So there was no Stormy Daniels porn, was it?
No, it was a TikTok. It was the one you sent me with the police officer taking a hit of the
of the vape pen.
But he got caught. But he was shot. But he know what he was doing because he was doing it kind of out of shot of the, because the way he was doing it. So he already knew what he was doing. He's something like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't inhale. I didn't know I inhaled that much. I smoked weed before and I let them know, but I just didn't know what I was doing. But just crazy. Knowing that cops are just as crooked, child. The guy pulled, before I get to the other story, quickly, the guy officer had pulled this young man over for not stopping or something, some kind of basic traffic violation, and he did a search. And then the young man came clean and said he had a lot of cartridges and the little handheld thingamabobs that you just puff on and has the oil in it. And so he took one and proceeded to smoke it in the car while his dash cam was running and get caught. But he was doing it so like over to the side so you couldn't really see him to it. But as they zoomed in, you could see him taking a puff of the device and then like blowing the smoke out the window, even coughing at one point because he took so much of a hard pull.
Yeah, and his head got tight.
Yeah, talking about the I was feeling a little loose. Yeah, I bet you was something like one of these thingies. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. I don't know, but anyway, so police was it Wyoming? I think so. Illinois. Okay, mm-hmm. So police in Illinois, they have found a way to, and I think a lot of police officers, highway patrol officers, they are doing this in a lot of different states. We just don't know. They are trailing behind drivers in regular trucks, pickup trucks, 18-wheelers, and just following traffic. And then they're reporting people speeding or driving recklessly to upcoming officers on the highway, right? And then then they get pulled over, of course, and get ticketed and all that stuff. So I was like, that is so sneaky, like that is so like deceiving. And granted, yeah, you're supposed to be obeying the laws and stuff like that, but to know that they are finding other ways to kind of get people. This police officer was in a whole 18-wheeler just flying down the highway, and just as he's flying and people are going
with the trailer. That's the thing that got me was he was hooked up with the trailer.
Yeah, he was hooked up with the trailer. Yeah. And as the people were just flying by him, or he was flying by people, and if they were going past the speed limit or, going too far over, he would call the officer who happened to be either ahead or a little bit behind, tell them the license, the license plate, the type of car. So that officer could have just been, driving on the highway, and maybe that person wasn't speeding anymore. Maybe they slowed the hell down. He still pulled them over because he had already had them pegged for speeding way back when that truck saw him. So I just thought, like, damn, that's just real sneaky. Like, there's just any way for them to get any way for them to get some extra money out of people is crazy and ridiculous. But yeah, so just be careful out there on the roads when you thinking you behind an 18-wheeler or beside an 18-wheeler and they just rolling and you rolling. They may be rolling a different type of way. It may be some police or some popo in that next 18-wheeler. So just make sure you're mindful that they found a new way to get your ass with a ticket. So it's crazy. And I'm sure if they're doing it, other states are doing it too. I know Maryland, they do regular cars that you be, driving and thinking that that's a regular car, and all of a sudden those lights cut on like,
they all have lights on them.
Yeah. So even with that 18-wheeler bit, I wasn't a bit surprised, but the fact that come on, you're not thinking an 18-wheeler has a police officer in it that is literally tracking you down as you're, just cruising on the highway, just trying to get to point A to point B. And they're like, whoop, nope, this car was going this miles per hour. And the officer just nicely just comes up, whoop, 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 pulls him over. And dude's like, what you put me over for? Oh, you were speeding back there. Dude wasn't even back there to know he was speeding.
Know that you were speeding.
Yeah. He wasn't even nowhere near him to know that he was speeding. But to actually know that is happening on these interstates is alarming. So just be careful out there because they coming for you. They coming.
I got a stupid question. I got a real stupid question. Okay. Sure. Now, in those states where they have the drag queen and drag king ban, does that mean that they can't watch Medea movies? I think that might be I think that might be next. I think you start with something and you kind of test the waters, and then you put that blanket. You kind of blanket that to other things. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the line other things will start to get banned. Movies that you didn't think nothing of start banning, like Medea movies and other doing books.
Yeah, other movies. You're doing books that, okay. To me, I don't get it. You look at you have the Bible that has some stories that are not age appropriate, but yet that's okay to read. I just don't.
The things that gets me, especially with the book bans and things like that. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the library. You can go to the library online. You can go to my favorite web that's no longer there. That too. But to like the library is no longer there. The original one is Pornhub. Yeah, you'll see a lot of stuff. The thing about Pornhub is you'll see a lot of YouTubers from over here.
Over there. Yeah, that is true. They're trying to supplement their income, man. You
can't blame them.
They're trying to supplement that income.
Because YouTube's taking what they want, 40% now?
30, 40, something like that. They want a bigger chunk of the pie. Hey, what's going on, Virginia Redbone? Nice to see you.
Hey, Virginia Redbone, long time no see.
But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before they start going after stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not.
Patty said, Tyler Perry, they watching you. Yeah. I thought about that, especially because some of the stuff's really wholesome that and what they would consider safe to watch, but that's a man in drag.
Yeah,
even though he's playing a character, well, drag kings and all that stuff. But if that shit should happen to come to Pittsburgh, be a different story.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not already about to be on the floor in their state house.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. All right, so let's get into all the other stuff. All right, because I think I got everything. Did I get everything? I think
You got everything.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
All right. So here we go. This is where we talk about other stuff other than politics and all the serious stuff. As far as what's going on,
where we decompress.
Yes. As far as what's going on the YouTube streets, just real quick, I'm not too familiar with everything that's going on. I know at one point Kwani and DKL had a little rift going on, but I think they have mended, and now Kwani and Just Kimmy seem to have a bit of an issue right now. There's a lot of other people. I've heard something about Brooke no longer being pregnant. And her boyfriend or husband, whomever, broke up with her and then went on somebody else's platform to discuss it, or somebody else made him a moderator. Just a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know. It's just a lot. It's almost like the days of our lives, but ratchet. So I've been occupying my time watching a lot of shows. So the first show that I have watched, but I'm not finished, so I can't really give you a full, like, I like this, I don't like this fully, but so far so good. Swarm. I have started watching that. I did stop because I'm waiting for somebody to finish or catch up so I can watch the rest of it, because people always say that if I watch something and I tell somebody about it, I usually finish watching it and they be like, oh, you watched it without me, because I don't like waiting. If I'm watching it, I just want to watch it and then kind of watch it full out and be done. All that waiting, I'm impatient. So I'll wait to finish it. But so far, so good. What I thought it was, not really what I thought it was. Like, I thought it was like Swarm, is like they call the Beehive with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a more of a fanatic type of situation, but it's not that necessarily. I say necessarily because it probably does turn into that somewhere down the line, but in the very beginning parts of this thing, it didn't turn out that way. But so far so good. I mean, if you like Atlanta, you'll like this. I mean, I liked it so far. There's some people that didn't like it. The protagonist is a bit of a nutcase, to put it mildly. But
I was debating about this one because I didn't know exactly what it was. That's that first thing I thought it was. I thought it was like a Craze fan or whatever, or Craze fan group, that type of thing. But what is this? People are kind of in an uproar or have questions about this sex scene. There's a sex scene.
Okay, so there was the only sex scene I know, unless there was something else. The guy from Snowfall, the lead character in Snowfall.
I was wondering if that was him.
Yeah, that's him. He's having sex with, is her name Chloe? The two sisters.
Yeah, with her. Yeah, now that because they were like, it's really real. Look, I mean, I didn't really see anything. I just saw him just in there, and he was okay. So he was giving a back shot.
Yeah, I'll give this scene away. He was giving her back shots, but the door was open, and the friend or the sister or whomever, I think she's more like a friend, like a friend, but they call themselves family. From what I gather, I haven't watched the whole thing, so don't sue me, but so she was either getting some water or she heard them and she just wanted to like kind of creep to go see, and the door was open. And as he's just doing his business, she just looking and eating something, and kind of, I guess she had this look on her face like she was kind of changing places and wishing what it would be like if she was in that position, because just the way she was looking at him. And he caught her looking, and he started, doing it hard, and then looking at her like, I know you want me kind of thing.
What it is stomp that boy.
Yeah.
Looking back.
Yeah. Look
That's
back
class.
at it. Look back at it.
Who do you expect to see? That is a fucking classic.
Yeah, but he was. So he was doing that, and then, um, so they didn't talk about it. Like she didn't mention anything to her friend or sister about it, and nor did he mention anything about it until he she works for like a little kiosk fashion person, like a person who sells clothes, right? In the kiosk in the mall. And her friend, sister, whomever, trying to catapult her into management, right? So because she's doing stuff on the side, like makeup and stuff, the friend, she's like, oh, I know my sister can do the shift for me, just give her a chance and opportunity. So she's like, so the person who owns it was like, all right, cool, because I rock with you, I'll give your sister a chance. This airhead, the boyfriend comes into the mall talking about some, hey, come with me. I need you to help me find a gift for so-and-so. She don't close the kiosk. She don't do nothing. She just walk away with him. So then as he's talking to her, he's like, so we going to talk about the other night? And she like, what are you talking about? Like everything is almost like very babyish, kind of like you may have some kind of like situation, like everything, they ain't all firing on all cylinders upstairs. And so he's like, I saw you looking at me. You want some? And this, that, and I mean, he gets real close, like all up in her face, almost kisses her, and then she just walks away. When she gets back to the kiosk, they done stole all they done stole all the merchandise, the clothes and shit and everything. So I mean, it's just like certain parts, like I just be like, girl, it's just spacey. What the hell is going on? Like you're not some ain't right. But it definitely so far for me is it's a decent watch. It's a decent watch. I mean, like I said, if you liked Atlanta, it's kind of sort of on that same thing where there are a lot of different things and situations. Sometimes they don't kind of make sense in a sense, but I guess the overall scheme of things, they'll probably come together. Yeah, because there were some scenes even in Atlanta that I was like, okay, now what does that have to do with it?
Yeah, a couple of those, I didn't get it.
Yeah. So it's kind of sort of on that premise, but so far so good. So far so good. I'll let you know my final verdict when I finish, which I probably should be finished.
Yeah, because I was wondering if that was what's his face from Snowfall.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, and that's gotten really good.
Yeah.
Snowfall.
And what's the Glover is his last name? What's his first name? Is it? It's not. I want to say Danny, but that's not
Donald.
What is that?
Donald Glover.
I think that's his name. But yeah, that's who he's so producing it. I think he also co-writes it as well. But the dude who created Atlanta. Yeah. So
okay. And this is a series, right?
Yeah, it is a series. It's on like 6 or 7 episodes, I think. So it's not a hard watch, but it definitely, I mean, it's interesting so far. Some people I was watching in the chat earlier as I was working, and some people was like, oh, they didn't like it. And I'm just like, well, what you didn't like about it? I don't know. So I'm curious for those of you who are going to watch it, or if you do take a peek at it, let me know what you think. I'll be looking forward to that.
That's on Prime.
Yeah, that is on Prime. Yes. And then also I've been watching Truth Be Told. Truth Be Told has been gotten really good. Season 3. This is the season with Gabrielle Union. And they deal with sex trafficking and trafficking of young girls, which is a very serious thing that is happening to a lot of our Black young women getting caught up in this trafficking thing. And it also deals with once you have been trafficked and you escape or you are able to get away, how your mindset is still kind of warped in that world where people, there was a lot of scenes where I can't think of the Octavia Spencer's character's sister tries to adopt one of the young teenagers because she was still waiting for her mother to come pick her up, but her mother never came to pick her up. So she, spoke to the agency about her adopting the young girl. And, so at first the young girl was very kind of hesitant, like, yo, I'm still waiting for my mother. You don't need to be doing all this for me. Da-da-da-da. And then when she realized her mother is not coming back or coming for her, she kind of broke down and she started to unpack her stuff and put her stuff in the actual drawers that was set for her, right? So then as they go on, she's like, oh, let's go to the mall and get you some clothes or whatever. So she takes the young girl to the store to get clothes. She has the other sister with her. So it's like there are three sisters, but the youngest, I think she's the youngest sister. She's more opinionated and kind of like tells it how it is. Octavia Spencer's character is the more structured sister, the voice of reason kind of sister. The other sister is like, she ain't having it. She tell it straight off the cuff, nothing. And they're talking and they happen to look over at the young girl, and this man is talking to her, basically trying to proposition her for sex because he's had her before, right? Wow. And was talking about that he was going to give her twice her rate, right? And when they, bust the party, like, yo, what are you doing? She's a little girl, like she's a girl, she's a little girl. What are you doing? That's crazy. Get out of here, you pervert, and all that kind of stuff. She's like, wait, what are you doing? He was about to give me twice as much. What are y'all doing? Why are you doing that? And she's like, you're not my mother, and just walks away. And it's just like, wow, to see how even when you're away from it, and it's still kind of in you, that when people proposition you, it's like, well, this is somebody. So she, after that incident, she left. And then the sister was really worried, calling everybody, trying to look for her because they thought that she may have went with the guy that she saw in the mall. And she was like, when she came back to the house, they were like, where were you? I just went out to get some air or whatever. She said, no, I didn't go with the guy, but I really just needed to get some air. So they were like, okay, but you need to tell us and, things of that nature. But needless to say that, yes, a lot of people are affected by things like that. And it's a lot of trauma that happens to people. So we definitely want to be mindful about that. But definitely another great show that you need to check out is Truth Be Told. Other than that, let's see what else have I watched. That movie, I know we talked about it before, but that is good. You should definitely check that out. The Soldier movie. What was that? Gosh. What was that? About the army guy. I can't think of it. Can't think of it.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
But the young man from Pose, he plays a character going into the army, young, trying to make a different life for himself. His mother doesn't accept his sexuality, so he goes into the army trying to.
And that had Gabrielle Union in it too.
Yeah, that had Gabrielle Union in it.
She didn't look old. She just looked dirty.
Yeah, she did just look very dirty. Trying to make a better life for himself and still wanting the love of his mother. His mother thinking if he went into the army that they would necessarily beat the gay out of him and he would be straight. Needless to say, that's when the don't ask, don't tell kind of situation was very prevalent. And that's what they did. They didn't ask him any questions. They definitely assumed he was gay, and they definitely treated him a certain way. They almost killed him at one point.
The Inspection.
The Inspection, yes. The name of the movie is called The Inspection. It's definitely a good movie to watch. The actual real life person does do a cameo at the end of the film. But yeah, that's definitely a good film to check out. What else? I think that was it that I can think of. Yeah, I think that's it. I still have to catch up on The Servant, so I haven't really watched that because I know that started a new season and I still have some shows to catch up on that. And Snowfall, I still got to catch up on that too. So I'll be busy for the next 2 days.
Snowfall's real good. He is hardcore, man. He is hardcore. I'm so sad that it's only
Yeah,
this is the
last I
last.
checked, it was him and his mother was really having that talk once again. Like,
Mhm.
if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this for real. So, and then he got into the situation with his uncle at the table, and he pulled the gun
Yes.
out on his uncle.
That was intense.
Yeah,
That was an intense scene.
that was really intense. So
Oh,
that's all I saw from that. So I
yeah,
don't
Fresh Prince of Bel Air is back on too.
know. Oh, okay. You're gonna kill me because I
And
haven't watched
that's
it
on
yet.
that's on Peacock.
Okay, no, check that out. I'll check that out. And no, I haven't watched the Chris Rock special. Somebody asked me in my DMs, have I watched it? No, and I don't think I will. To me, Chris Rock hasn't been funny for a long time. Like certain things he says funny, but for me, funny enough to watch a whole set, no, thank you.
It was okay.
Oh, okay, you saw it?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I'm not a Chris Rock fan.
Yeah.
Period. His type of comedy, but he kind of, to me, kind of reverted back to his old. You know how when he walks and he paces and he just has a certain cadence, like in the very beginning
when he used to do,
he used to do that. He was kind of doing that.
The big piece of chicken. Yeah, that.
I mean, you know, he got paid. That was a payday.
Right.
That's a definite payday. You know, and after, I still think it was staged. It just looks so corny.
Yeah.
Just the whole slap. It just looks so corny. But then after you know, after I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Jada Pinkett slept with her son's friend.
Right.
That's all, and that's all that kept sticking in my mind. It's like, girl, you nasty. But there was a teacher that just had a baby.
Yes.
By a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the boy's mother wants
to press
charges and get custody of the child. Yeah. But I'm like, does she do jail time? You know, then you kind of see how
not yet.
How the difference. But remember the very first one.
Yeah, she did.
That teacher, and they ended up getting married or whatever. She ended up passing away. I think she had cancer or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. But they ended up having like 2 kids. But it's like 13 years. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, granted, you that young, you got a lot of strength, but shit. I'll tell you one thing. My ass better be on the fucking honor roll.
This is what I'm saying.
I put a lot of extra credit.
Right. All these
none of my teachers I ever wanted to sleep, but they all smell like Marlboros and Cools.
Not a one. I don't even know what it is. I really couldn't tell you. I do think because of the teachers, I don't want to say being a lot younger because they were probably young when I was in school too. I just never noticed.
In their 20s, but a lot of them look like they were in their 20s. The actual teachers. But a 13-year-old,
13,
you know, we're not talking about like a high school. I remember I had a teacher at my school that she dated, and we knew she was dating this guy, but she just looked like her breath stank, and it was like, oh no.
No, we had in my school.
Got him in college.
We had one teacher that we knew was our age. She literally was. We were 17, 18. She just got out of college, so she was like 21, 22. And nobody was looking at her. I mean, she was a white woman, but nobody was looking at her like, oh, you're hot. Like, it was just like, we would talk to her like she was our peer. So it was nobody looking at her like, oh,
like that. Yeah.
It was just like, she was actually dating the chemistry teacher who always had yellow stains on his shirts, under his arms, that we were like, you and him? Ew. Like, he's so weird. But I don't know what has happened with this
issues in the pits.
I have no idea what is transpired with these teachers. And then they always talk about how there's a huge loss of people actually being teachers and trying to push people to be teachers. But with
so
all
much.
this going
It's so
on,
much
it's
to go
too
through.
it's
That's why
so
Johnny can't read, because he's too busy.
He's too busy fucking. He's
Fucking
too
these
busy
students.
fucking.
They don't have to learn. You ain't got to learn how to read. I'm
That
a
is
teacher.
just crazy. It's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy. But I think that's all I got for right now. I don't have anything else. I will put this here for a couple seconds, so just in case somebody wanted to pop on. If not, we can roll up on out of here. Anything you had to say or wanted to say as we get ready to part on out of here, sir?
No, not a thing. Tell everybody about your interview, sir.
Oh yeah, how did I forget? First of all, let
Just
me
shout her
say
out.
happy birthday to Deidre, otherwise known as Class Culture. She just had a birthday. I believe it was yesterday or today. It's one of those. But happy birthday to you. She thinks said 59 did it. But definitely, God bless on your birthday. But I did do an interview over at Class Culture. If you look on my community wall, you would have seen it. It was nice. It was interesting. I'm usually not up that late anymore, too much. So that was getting back to being up at that time. But no, it was good. I had a great time as always. If you have some extra time, definitely go check it out and give it a click and a view. It's over at Class Culture. I love her intro. Her intro is everything. I always, whenever I'm there and she's coming on, I'm always bopping to her intro. But definitely check out Class Culture with Miss Deidre, otherwise known on these YouTube streets as someone is giving her the name of Dee Dee Loop Loop, which I think is crazy, but she makes fun of it too, so that's good. And sometimes if you can make fun of yourself, that says a lot. But definitely it was an awesome interview, and yeah, definitely check her out. But thank you. And just because with everything else, I don't be thinking about stuff like that, so thank you for reminding me. But yeah, definitely go check it out. And for those of you who have checked out In the Heights, they premiered their first show last Friday at 6. So hopefully you checked it out and got a feel of how those young people are. And do note that I will be highlighting other people and things. I do have something in the works, but I just got to put a montage together for my next In the Spotlight person to be highlighted on the platform. So that's definitely something we'll be doing moving forward. So if you have anything or want to promote your business and or your channel or something like that, In the Spotlight is where you would do. Just hit me up at the email that you see down there in the descriptionable box down there somewhere. And yeah. And trust and believe, if the product is that I haven't tried it or something like that, no, I don't really like doing products that I haven't tested myself. So just so you know, because and that's just me. It's like I don't like representing something that I don't know anything about.
No, the only product that we can get behind is Patty Dukes.
Yeah, right. And that is fact. But definitely, if you have something you want me to promote, just make sure you hit me up on that email and you may be next on the spotlight. All right. And with that said, with all hearts and minds clear. Yes, sir.
Oh, and not only that, if you have any stories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Make sure you hit
Definitely.
up on the email.
Yeah, well, I do get hit up a lot on Instagram, DMs regarding stories, and thank you so much to all of you. T Danielle, I see you in here. I know sometimes you send me a lot of stuff, and some others. Thank you so much for the stories and stuff you send me. I definitely appreciate it because it keeps me on my toes. Because a lot of times I don't get to see everything. I don't watch so much stuff as I miss a lot of things. So definitely thank you all for keeping me abreast on a lot of things and any new or updated stories that I may have overlooked. So thank you so much for doing that. And actually, you please continue because, it's all about a village. We got to make this
you have to have
thing
eyes
work.
all over the place.
Yeah, literally. You would be like a spider in this place. with all the stuff that's going on, because there's a lot of stuff missed. Even like real quick, sorry to jump on politics, international politics, but even in Nigeria right now, they're actually having protests, like violent protests in regards to the election going on. So we definitely want to, keep an eye on a lot of things, because, those, although, we may not always see eye to eye, those are our brothers and sisters over there. So we definitely want to make sure we are abreast to what's going on. And there are a lot of Americans that have moved over there too. So we just want to always be mindful of what's going on around the world.
I bet you they weren't thinking that shit was going to go on.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
He's going over there to the jungle to see the lions and tigers.
You know what? Not the jungle. That's crazy. But at any rate, that's all I got. And hope you guys have a blessed and peaceful night. And until next time, and if Darnell happens to get arrested, I will post it. I don't know if I'll go live and talk about it.
Make sure y'all get some snacks.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll go live and talk about it, because it ain't much to talk about. We done already talked about everything.
And it's not really the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the porn star.
It's right.
And that's all it is. Whether he used campaign money
funds,
to pay for the porn star.
Yeah.
For her services.
To keep
and she looks like a 1970s porn star. I happened to look at some of her pictures.
Right.
It's like, ooh.
That he now calls a horse face, but she wasn't a horse face when she was having her horse face in him. I hate when men do that. Like, don't clown her now because you happen to be in a situation, because
she's a paid horse
face, right? Right. She's a paid horse.
You Mr. Red.
Right.
He could have ended up like that. You remember that?
She was Peggy the Stallion.
No, you remember? Did you ever see that video of the guy that went to the and was sleeping with the horse? You ever see that video?
Yeah.
This was back in the early days when it was just nasty and just nasty and nasty.
That's the same time I seen that guy take a glass jar, like a glass of gel, and put it up there, and it broke.
And it broke, and he's picking glass out of his ass. Oh man, that was unreal. That was back in the day when
the deep blood, the dark blood that was coming out. He's gonna die. He's out of here.
He's gonna die anyway, because I'm like, oh my God, you want to end up getting an infection.
I said, why would you put glass?
A mason jar, an empty mason jar, and you're gonna shove it up your ass. It's crazy.
And then sit there and go, oops, like you didn't know what you thought was gonna happen. There's muscles in there.
Yeah, I said oops when that motherfucker cracked. I was like, ooh, shit.
Oh gosh, I think that was around the days of the 2 girls 1 cup days.
But
that thing was so crazy.
You definitely go to jail back then. All that stuff that was coming out there.
Right.
Just just anything, no censorship whatsoever.
Yeah, I know.
But when that horse gallows that motherfucker out, and his friend picked him up, put him in the car, and dumped his ass at the hospital.
Oh yeah.
You have something. A horse has a penis as long as my arm.
Oh God,
and that's long as shit.
I don't even know what possessed
it. It was a farm. It was a farm that evidently all these people that were
go to into that sort of reality,
and that and what is it? Ponies and goats and cows and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds very sick. I can't.
Chickens.
And they wonder why there's a shortage of eggs. No way.
Not only that shit high as hell. Does that count as organic protein?
No, it don't count as organic. And on that note, I'm out of here. Okay, I'm not doing this.
Good night, everybody. Everybody take it easy.
Have a great night. Make sure you moisturize, wear your mask, and moisturize. I can't stress that enough.
Wash your hands. There is a new bacteria out here.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
you wash your hands with soap and water.
Yes. Actually, I just seen that like right before what you call it.
Yeah,
I didn't read it yet, but
I think a lot of that stuff is becoming resistant to.
yeah, it is because a lot of people are not just doing common stuff to kind of keep certain things at bay. I mean, they're so concerned about getting the jab or having to get jabbed that you're not even washing your hands, like doing
wash your
just
hands. You don't do anything else.
common things. I mean, if you're not going to sit there and wash your,
still sport my mask. I wear my mask.
if you're not going to wash your ass, that's fine. Don't wash your ass. Be dirty. But at least wash your goddamn hands. You going in and out of bathrooms, touching
jars
shit,
up there.
picking up, picking up shit all in the grocery store and shit. And then you going to sit there saying, I don't know how so-and-so got sick. It's your nasty, disgusting ass. You just spreading stuff all over the place. Just please, people, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your nasty
soap and water.
hands.
Soap and water. Just
Uh,
alternate, you know.
You're right. Soap and water, hand sanitizer, but not all the time because that doesn't. After a while, you gotta mix it up. So just protect yourself because there's some weird old people out here. I still think they're doing it to try and eliminate a lot of the population. I really do.
Oh yeah.
They're using it as a type of weapon at this point.
A culling, a thinning of the herd.
Yeah.
I've always said that.
Yeah,
and if they could do it where it would hit a certain ethnic group,
right,
and they would do it.
Yeah,
they would.
It's getting real ridiculous out here. But at any rate, everybody, be safe, be blessed, wash your damn hands, and until next time, America, peace.
Good night.